Hi everyone, this is Big Benedict. We're in Billstown. This is the first part of that. This is the woods, as you can plainly see here. And I love this chapter, especially when we get into the suburban area. But this chapter is bittersweet because when I posted this video originally a couple of weeks ago, my video got flagged. And I think I managed to do this chapter about 5 or 10 minutes quicker than I did before. So, having done like a 30-minute chapter for the first one, the first time I did this guide, it just really put me in a depression and feeling like my work didn't matter on YouTube. But if that's the case, I'm just going to not monetize this video, and if I get into a dispute or whatever, I'll just dispute it and tell them that I'm not trying to make money off this video, because I have a feeling they're cracking down on this chapter in particular, which I don't know. I really don't know why, but none of the footage in this video is going to be sped up. I just have 2 long segments of video, and I'm going to be looking around the whole town trying to get every single thing, and I believe I do. So this is the point in the game where you definitely have to start looking in every nook and cranny, finding every hidden item, and the safes in particular. There is a safe in this chapter, and I'll tell you how to get it. But for now, take this plank and face it against the shack here. And we're gonna, on top of the shack is a weapon upgrade tool, and I'm gonna show you how this works. It should give you a tutorial, but basically it's a pipe. It's that iron, but it has that those the scissors on it. So that's an instant kill. The first time you use this weapon that we just picked up, it'll instantly kill any clicker, any of the enemies. It doesn't matter. Not a bloater though, but there is no bloaters in this chapter. But as we upgrade, we'll get more instant kill slots on there, so it'll really be cool. The first enemy encounter up here is versus 2 clickers who are both optional, so you don't have to face them. The only reward, besides the satisfaction of killing them, is you'll get a compress, I believe, in the shed where one of them's hiding. Okay, so we're gonna go down here, and I would equip a gun if I were you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple shots at these guys, and then I'm going to do the instant kill. You see on the you see where the health bar is, and below it you see the little dotted lines, and then you see the solid line under those dotted lines. That means I have an instant kill, and that instant kill will go away once I take one guy out instantly. So there's that guy. I'm going to back off and then shoot there's 2 clickers. See, there's the second one. But once I take one of these guys down, then I'm going to do my melee attack. And watch as that solid bar disappears after I see, it's gone now. That was the instant kill it was talking about. So it's really good. And that's a better way to handle that situation, because if you search the house and come down here, you'll be right in front of that clicker. So it's just a better way. It's just the way I like to work it. So make sure you craft a shiv, because there's going to be a shiv room coming up. So you'll need that. And when you craft this melee tool, it says melee and craft it. That's like a one-time upgrade to get a one-time kill. So it's just up to you. Do you want to on the fly? Do you want to have an instant kill upgraded onto your current melee tool? And this game works so great. I love this game so much. Yeah, I erroneously spoke before. I said that we could get both of our health upgrades purchased by this stage, but I was wrong. I was confusing it for the first health upgrade. I'm very sorry about that. But by this time, you should have 50 pills. So there's some more pills down here. Grab those, 5 pills, and let me see how many I have. I have 60. So even if you've missed 10, you should have at least 50. So you see how, if you rewind that and pause it, I have another 100 pill upgrade for that second health upgrade. So I'll be doing that the next time I have the ability to do so. So this is the area where the clicker was, and I'm going to backtrack over here, because this clicker, he was over here. The clicker that came on the other guy's heels. So I took care of those guys, so it's safe to get down here. I'm going to grab the brick. It's always nice to have that. And I'm going to go down here now and Joel is a little wary of having Ellie climb over this fence, which has the board on top of it. Probably because it has barbed wire on either side of it, so he's a little skeptical. He doesn't want Ellie to get cut up in the razor wire. But when we get to this town, I've mentioned The Stand a couple of times by Stephen King, but that book is so wonderful. You guys should really check it out. The Stand, it'll make you, when you're reading that book, you'll think that you're playing this game. Really, I mean, it's the opposite way for me since I've already read the books. So Ellie's going to let us in, and if you've wasted too many hits with your melee tool, you can actually pick up the pipe iron, the tire. I guess it's not a tire iron; it's just some kind of a. But you see, I didn't need to pick that up because it would just have canceled each other out. So next, we're going to go into the Gnome Garden and get a couple of supplies. I think some scrap metal pieces, and sometimes the game will hide pills inside flower pots. So that's how that works. So there's some binding tape, some scrap metal pieces right there, and then all that's left, all that's left in this mode is just the pill in the flower. So I was actually kind of curious as to why they did that last time, but it's just a way of not letting you see the item from a distance. So you have to close in on the distance to actually see that the pills are hiding in the flowers, and that's going to be a common trend we see with that kind of concealment. So this is my final level. This is my favorite level of all the levels. Not just this section of Billstown, but not just the woods, but all of the chapters involving Bill. And personally, I'm kind of ambiguous as to whether he is gay or not. It doesn't matter at all to me, but I think a lot of people think he might be gay because of the quote-unquote partner references that he does, because that is the way gay and lesbian people refer to their other halves as partners. But Bill is such a self-sufficient guy, and this is his town. It says Bill's town in the title of this chapter. So I think one idea could possibly be that when Bill says his partner, he means his other his cop, because we have a lot of cop blood in my family, and you refer to the person whom you're assigned to as a partner. And in fact, anybody you really work with in the police department, they're all your partners. They've got your back, and so it could be because I was bashing Ellie right there. Didn't feel like talking to her about the video game. We're not playing video games now. Well, I am anyway. Ellie's not doing shit but trying to help me out. So, is he gay, is he not? It doesn't matter. But one thing's for sure, he is a real asshole, and some of the interchanges with him and Ellie are just priceless because he's so skeptical of her, and it's just no real need to. And she does steal or I don't know if she steals it, but she finds some kind of a pornography book inside his residence or something, but that could lend some more proof to the idea that he's gay. But again, I like Joel says a couple chapters back, I could give two shits about what it really means. So there's the safe right there. We need a combination, and the combination is on the razor wire in front of the barricade at the end of the street. And this chapter just completely reminds me of the chapter in The Stand where Nick Andros rides into a town just like this and discovers Tom Cullen. And the two forge a bond because Nick is blind and Tom is deaf and dumb. So pardon me if I wasn't politically correct right there, but so here's the note right there, so we can get the safe. And there's a bunch of good stuff. So the previous safe that we got a couple chapters back had just 50 scrap metal pieces. So I'm gonna, whenever I open a safe or go into a shiv room, I go very slowly just so everybody can see just exactly what I'm getting, because I don't think those are I think it's the same every single time. So I'm going to open this and just very carefully show you. So 50 scrap metal pieces and 10 pills. So very worth it to do that little minor puzzle that took us nothing doing. So now our next objective is to go into the record store, but of course you guys know I'm so anal retentive I have to search every part of the environment, and this was actually the first time I went up on this camper here and found that pendant. But again, I could give two shits about a pendant. All I care about, oh, you see right there, if you're sprinting and then you press the X button as you're just about to jump off a ledge, he'll do a jump. So that's one thing to note in a game where you cannot jump like you can in Uncharted games. So in here I think we have some more pills, no, binding tape, and a note, perimeter note, and nothing in the bathroom. There usually isn't anything in bathrooms, but oh, okay. I am so stupid. Everything I say, it always gets contradicted because I just forget what I've done in my game. But from my experience, though, and I'm not trying to defend myself or make myself look not stupid, but a lot of the bathrooms in this game where you think like alcohol and medical tape would be, there's just none hardly. So, or pills, you know. But anyway. Okay, so now there's two paths you can go down. They both go to the same place, and I'm going to point them out. The first time I did this game on hard, I went down that path, so I'm going to go to the left down here this time. It's the same scenario that plays out both times. Both times, whichever way you go, a clicker is going to run into this trap here and get blown up by the nail bomb. We are going to be getting some nail bombs, so they're very helpful. So I think there's some stuff over here to grab.
You want to build some traps?
Yeah, another item.
Maybe?
And this is the shiv door up here, so make sure you have
What's the deal with this guy?
crafted one.
Helped us smuggle stuff into the cities. He knows how to find things.
Let's hope we don't blow up trying to find him.
And once again, I'm going to go very slowly in these shiv rooms so that you guys can just see just exactly what I'm getting, just in case you want to gauge it against, you know, whether or not you want to open these doors. But I would not even hesitate, just open all of them. So right there, some alcohol, and right there are some pills. Looks like some pills, 15 pills. That's great. And is that it? Yeah, that was it. Well, you got to consider that 15 pills and alcohol. You cannot get pills are very rare in this game, and they help you out exceptionally well. So there's that trap. Don't worry about that. We're not going in that direction. We're going to pull these arrows off this course here. And when you shoot an arrow with the bow and you hit an enemy, the arrow will break or it won't break. It's just one of those things. It's just a way of balancing out the game. But what I should say about the arrow, the bow, is it's extremely helpful for doing stealth kills. And if an enemy is not aware of you and you shoot an arrow at it, one of the tooltips in the loading menus instructs the player that you do more damage to that enemy if he's not aware of you. So that's going to come into play immediately up here when I snipe the clicker. So grab the bow, and Ellie is protesting that she needs a gun, and Joel is just, I think he doesn't want her. I mean, even though we've done a lot of horrific stuff, and believe me, the horrific stuff is only going to intensify as we get down the road, so to speak. But I just think he wants to preserve her innocence for as long as he can until it becomes absolutely necessary that she takes a she starts, you know, weaponizing herself. So I'm going to hit her right there just for fun because she was cock blocking me. I was trying to pick up this board. So what you need to do is just pick up the plank, set it against the building, because we are going to need to use this plank to cross the chasm up ahead. And we're also going to be facing the clicker. So even though the clicker is going to be unaware of us, you have to get a headshot unless you aren't concerned about killing the clicker in one hit. I don't like to waste a lot of arrows, and with I mean, owing to the fact that your arrow may be broken when you go try to pick it up, meaning that you can't pick it up and you don't get it back, I try to get headshots, especially in a situation like this where the checkpoint is literally right here. So it has a little message for us for informational purposes, and I don't hold it up for very long, but you can rewind it and pause it if you want to read that. So I got a headshot, jumped off. I think I do a jump. Yeah, there's a jump. Kind of a jump. Kind of a fairy jump. So I got my arrow back that time, and that was fortunate. So what we want to do now is we're going to go down the ladder here. I think I do a jump here. Do I do the jump? No, maybe not.
You understand?
So up ahead we do have a runner in the house. It's an optional house, but you definitely want to just do everything in this game. Never don't go in a house, because even though a lot of the doors are empty, some of them aren't.
Just keep your head low and you'll be fine.
So Ellie's a little worried here because check out the situation. The door's being throttled from the other side. And don't worry about when you immediately open. The guy's going to run upstairs. So what I like to do is have a brick in hand and then smash him up when he charges at me with the brick. So he's going to come out every time right out of the bathroom. So, oh, I didn't have the brick equipped, and I was pressing the square button, but if you have a melee tool equipped, it'll prioritize the melee tool. So your other option right there would be to have the circle reticle hovering over the enemy, and you press triangle, or excuse me, R1 to launch the bottle at him, and then while he's stunned, start punching him up. And I think if you're doing melee combat, and I think you have to use the melee tool, but please, someone, if I'm speaking erroneously, please correct me if I'm wrong. But I don't think you can go from having a melee tool and then like setting it aside and then punching. I don't think that. I'm actually really curious about that right now as I think about this whole situation. But I'm pretty sure that you cannot fist fight if you've got a melee weapon. It'll just use the melee tool. But the last thing I want to do is disseminate wrong information, especially when I'm professing that I know a lot to make a guide. So grab a bottle or a brick and throw it at that. That thing's done. And we're also going to need to grab another brick to destroy the next trap, but the brick is right next to the trap, so you don't have to worry about it too much. The one thing you will need to worry about is just distancing yourself enough from the trap before you throw the projectile. So right here I was just making sure all my guns were reloaded. It's very important to have your guns reloaded before you go to a new checkpoint. So here's the brick. Back off. Put distance. Just put enough distance. Don't throw it right next to it or you will take massive damage. But if you are at full health and you run into a trap, it's been my experience that you don't perish. So, coming up ahead, after we grab the pills, so those pills in there, no, pistol rounds, we have the obligatory Dead Space 2 sequence, and part of me really hates Dead Space 2 for starting this whole trend, and it's you can't argue about who started that because it was Dead Space 2. And that part was really hard for me on hardcore mode when, all the stakes were on the table and you had to do this bullshit here. But right for this part, it's very easy. I mean, you should not sweat whatsoever. You have an infinite amount of revolver ammo.
Cut that rope, and it'll bring me down.
On it.
And I thought to myself when this was going on, because I knew deep down, I just knew this would be a protect the AI mission, But I said to myself, how about no enemies come this entire time, or maybe at the very, very end to do the tension. I think that would have been great, but anyway, they've got to do Dead Space 2 stuff here. So one headshot will kill these guys, but they're moving around so quickly that it's hard to hit them. But 2 body shots will take these guys down. So in this first section, they're only charging you. If they grab you, it's okay because you can repeatedly press the square button and save yourself. But in the next phase, they are starting to come after Ellie. See this clicker? He needed to be taken care of promptly. If a clicker grabs Ellie, it's not the end of the world, which is really nice. And this part is just, it looks gorgeous, and the depth perspective is really it really makes you feel like the ceiling's the floor and the floor is the ceiling. It's not quite over yet. They are going to start targeting Ellie a little bit more, but the nice thing is you cannot hit Ellie whatsoever. And there's just a lot of flexibility here. And, you know, we're on the hardest mode, so this should have been a little bit harder than it actually turned out to be. But I'm not complaining. It's just that, you know, when an aspect of the game is in front of the player and they have to do something that's not the game, because this is not the game. We don't spend the entire game hanging upside down. This is just one of these, you know, sequences to install some variety in the game. So I'm trying to get headshots, but you know, we've got the weapon sway ordinarily, but now we're hanging upside down, and I mean, you'd really have to wait a long time before Ellie got killed. So here's another clicker over here. Prioritize this guy definitely, and then before too long we're gonna fall down and Bill's gonna save the day. So Now I would be able to live with Ellie gets grabbed by the clicker, it's restart from checkpoint, and maybe there could be a checkpoint when the clickers come, but it doesn't make sense. Ellie should perish if the clickers grab her. And I know that sounds a little bit sadistic, but come on, there's only a couple of clickers anyway. It wouldn't be that hard. But anyway, repeatedly tap the square button here to win, and all we're going to be doing for the rest of this is fleeing from the enemies. So you don't have to waste any bullets. In fact, don't waste any. It's completely useless. For a lot of these upcoming sections, I'm going to have Bill do all the dirty work while I stay safe and delegate the responsibility of getting kills to Bill and or Ellie. Well, she doesn't do too much since she doesn't have a weapon.
Which way?
So this is really tense. You'll be biting your fingernails here and getting on the edge of your seat if you're like me, because, I mean, look how close this is right here. Anyway, I was looking for a base. I know there's a baseball bat in here somewhere. I was looking for it. Maybe there's not, but maybe, I don't know. There usually is a baseball bat. I was looking for that. Just kind of let the enemies come in the room and then back off, and then the clicker. There is going to be that clicker, so just kind of avoid him. You could just stay in here and just let Bill kill the clicker, but I'm just going to make a break for it, and then I believe that's going to be the end of the level. Just watch out for these guys. Just press square over and over again. Shove those guys off us, and we're going to go up here. And that's the end of the level. Thanks for watching.